In this video, I show Big D how to make a wicked simple draw box using the Domino and some simple mahogany tenons and the support bracket.
All right, Sedge, what are we getting into today?
Okay, so we're gonna make a drawer box. Have you ever made a drawer box before?
This will be my first one.
Okay, so I'm not gonna get into measuring. I'll get into marking the drawer box and the basics of it. We're gonna use the Domino, some simple mahogany, but I wanna really talk about the support bracket and the proper layout, okay? I sourced this material. It's pretty easy. You can get it in any cabinet supply house. I get mine at Richelieu, and I got it banded up top here. It's pre-finished birch sides. It's got the 6mm groove or 1/4" groove in it, and it just makes it wicked easy. I don't have to mill my own material. Every once in a while, I do mill it out of solid wood. I like poplar, but let's get at it.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some basic layout. And I'm gonna talk about joinery first. You can dovetail them, you can use hidden mortise and tenon. We're gonna do through tenon joinery. We're gonna use a simple mahogany. And of course, this is the front and this is the back. And I want you to think about shear strength when you do this. Same thing with dovetailing. Okay, you're gonna be pulling that draw in and out like this, and everything's gonna be shifting. So you have to do your joinery just like this. And this is how we're gonna do it. So that's gonna be a through tenon. I'll show you a lot of tips and tricks on using this. Okay, but that'll be the shear strength in there.
Perfect.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some labeling. Say you gotta do 10 drawer boxes. You don't wanna have to think about it, always label everything. But when we do this joinery, we're gonna do it from the outside. You'll understand in a few minutes. So always remember front, back, and sides. All of it's gonna be the same, but I always do this. I flip them all over like this, okay? And I'll put front, back, side, side.
All right.
Okay, so let's go back here and let's talk about this. That tenon's going in like this, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to plunge from the outside, and I always write here horizontal, horizontal. Okay, on this, we're going to be plunging vertical. Okay. But I want to do it from the outside in case we won't with this pre-finished, but we're going to have a tenon here and a tenon here, or a domino here and here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to plunge from the outside vertically. Okay, registering the machine and using the precision of the Domino machine. But if I have any tear out, it'll be covered up like this.
Oh, okay.
Follow?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just one of those things I like to do and show people. I do this. So here, and I always label this vertical, and we're going to plunge vertical. This is, I mean, this comes right off with some crud cutter. You can just wipe it right off.
All right, Sedge, so what's up with the machine?
Okay, so remember I've taught you this. Whenever we plunge vertical, okay, we use a support bracket. But you're gonna understand what these extra wings are on the support bracket. So it's tapped right here. Always when you put something on the Domino machine, whether it's the 500 or the 700, make sure you're doing it on the flat surface so it registers perfect. Just like that. Now, the other thing is this. We're gonna use 2 settings, okay, with the precision of the machine. Hear me out on this. We know the distance from here to the center of the bit is 37mm, okay? And what the wing does, it comes down and registers against the flap, and that gives us a distance from here to the center, 20mm. Why is that important? Okay, and we're gonna label these boards on each joint, okay? And boy, there's a lot of cool things I can point out with this. Okay, so if we did 37 and 37 and just use the flap, it would come out where it was like 2 tenon through tenons. Doesn't look good. So we're gonna write 20 and 37. And the reason I do the 37 is because that distance here doesn't get me involved with the groove.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's easier for assembly. Pretty simple. So what we'll do is we'll label every one of these.
All right.
Always remember the top is 20.
Yep.
Okay, 20, 37. I mean, this is overkill, but I'll tell you what, it will save all that money and work. Good job labeling, Big D. And think about this, what if you had 20 drawers? That's a lot of labeling, but it's worth it because you won't ruin a piece or less tendency to ruin a piece. The next thing you do is I'm going to set up the machine.
Let's do it.
So let's think this out. This is 12 millimeter or 1/2 inch material. So we're going to set our plate right here. Okay, we're going to loosen the height of the plate and we're going to step this out completely. You see it? And if I lock it back in, you're going to notice right here, I'm sitting at 6 millimeters. Hang on. Hello. What's 1/2 of 12?
6.
So that's going to put us in the center. Okay, so let's talk about plunge depth. And some people will say, hey, Sedge, it doesn't add up. It does. It works out. We're going to use the 5x30. 5 being the thickness. We just changed out the bit. And we're going to plunge in. Hear me out. It's going to come through here. And this is 12 millimeter, right? Okay. And we're going to plunge all the way through. So we got to be very careful with this when we plunge vertically. Okay. This one, we're going to plunge in 15 as well. Okay?
Okay.
This isn't exactly 30. It's shortened to 28 millimeters.
Oh.
It works out absolutely perfect, and I'll show you a perfect way to glue this up in a few minutes. Okay, so let's just verify the machine. Everything is going to be in the tight setting.
Okay.
Okay? Oh, I need to move this out here. So I'm just going to lift this out. I need to work off of the table, so I'll just move this here. My stop.
Perfect.
I'm going to do 37 first and then 20. Okay, I'm going to get the 20 out of there so you can see this. It's in tight. I'm set at 15. I always do that check, and I'll do the first one.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so here's the safety thing. I need to do 20, right? Okay, I could have come over here and got the other 37, okay, to speed it up. But now I want to do 20 because I want to point this out. This has to be completely off because when that is spinning, that domino bit, and the first year I was using this, way back when, I was doing this and it was running and my finger got really close. So make sure it's completely cycled up. And I'm just going to take it like this, and now I'm going to do 20. Hey, D, good job.
Getting there.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We're not gluing it up yet.
We're not gluing it up. We always dry fit. We got to measure for the bottom. Okay. Next, we're going to plunge vertically. All right. So I'm just going to take my stop and move it back. And I'm going to have plenty of room here. But when we plunge vertically, okay, remember the pressure, you always want to clamp this down. So I'm going to step this up a little. Can you get me one more clamp?
Yep.
And as I put it in, we're going to maximize our time. Grab me the other board. Okay. See how it's locked in? And we're going to take this and put it right on that hole there.
This one?
That one.
This one? Okay.
Okay, let's bring it in and lock it in. Okay, good. Now, yeah, exactly. So now I'll bring those down. That really speeds it up.
All right.
Okay, so look, 37, 37, and then we'll stop it and go 20 and 20. I'll do these. When you're plunging vertical, let's look at the 20. Let's get that out of the way. When you're plunging vertical, I'm going to grab that, flap, right? Because I don't have to think about it, it's 37, right? Okay, now, you do not put your hand in because you are plunging completely through.
Yes,
so I always put pressure here. Okay, you pinch it on. And then I'm going to stop it and move the wing down. And you'll do the other side. Because you know why I'm doing this?
Because I love using the domino.
So I want to explain these clips really quick. You can get them on Petries Workshop. Okay, these are awesome because you're not letting it fall all the way down. It's just really quick like this and like this. And it's just a quick setup. It just speeds up. It's just the little things that speed things up. Makes it nice. What that's for?
So you know which one
Those are the ones you did. So let's see how you did, Big D. We're gonna take this and I'll do the first assembly. Okay, feel that. See, that's what you want. Okay, and you can have a through tenon, but there's a little bit of leeway in there, and I'll show you how to glue this up perfect.
All right, Sedge, what's next?
Okay, so now we got to do the bottom. We dry fitted. Now we got to do some math.
Woo!
Okay. I have made this mistake a dozen times. I've subtracted instead of added. I've done it with rail and style for cope and stick, so bear with me. Okay, so I measured from inside here for the front and back. Okay, and it was 192.
Yep.
So I wrote that there, 192.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I measured inside here, okay, for the sides, and I wrote sides 370. Okay, so what we need to do is calculate the groove. The groove is 6 millimeters deep or 1/4 inch. So what we're gonna do is we have to add 12. Okay, but we want a little leeway in there for assembling, so we're actually gonna only add 10.
Okay.
So we're gonna cut 380, and hear me out on this, I'm labeling everything. And we're gonna do what's this?
202.
202, right? Because we're gonna add that. But this is what I want to make sure you understand is, I mean, these are the little minor things, but a drawer box is basically a cabinet. This is your top and bottom. It's pinned, and that's where your shear strength is, okay? But what we're going to do is traditionally on like colonial furniture in the old days when that was a real piece of wood in there, they did the grain this way.
Oh.
Okay? What we're going to do is I always have built my drawer boxes with the grains like this. So we got to label this. And before I get to the table saw to rip this up, the height is 380 and the width, this is the width, is 202. So we'll rip and then cross cut.
Sounds good. All right, Sedge, what's next?
It all depends on how good our measuring and cross-cutting and ripping skills are. Everybody wants to skip dry fit. It is the most important thing because you don't want to get in the middle of glue up and have to go back to the table saw or the K-pad. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple tips with this. I'm going to take this out. Okay, and we're going to put this in. Now, before we put it in, I'm going to take a sanding block, and you see that right there? I'm just going to knock those edges off ever so slightly. It really helps. This is a floating panel. It doesn't get glued in. Okay? And I just knock it off like that. It really helps in assembly. That's my outside, because that's my good side. And I'm going to slide it in. And then we can put it all together. This is going to float. Remember, we get that little space in there, but I know that's all going to go together perfect because I know that's less than, so we don't have to put it all together. Okay? Cool.
Sounds good. Hey, can you pass me the sanding block so we can get all the writing out there?
This is pre-finished. You don't want to have to go back and refinish it.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I've heard people all the time talk about different stuff. I just use this stuff. It's called crud cutter. Okay, and I just spray it like this, and you'll see it comes right off. And what I'll do is you'll see how that just comes right off. It's really nice. It works fantastic. Just spray a little on there, let it sit for a couple seconds, and it just comes off nice. So I'm going to clean it up before glue up.
All right. All right, Sedge, what's next?
Okay. As you see laid out in front of us, one of the things I've always done is I've taken a few minutes before a glue up, and given it some thought, do I have everything I need right at hand? So I'll just say, you're gonna understand what I'm doing here with the Dominoes in a few minutes. I have the drawer box bottom, I have a piece of wood, I have my glue spreader. Hey, check it out, it's the hotel I stayed in Ireland. Okay, I always save hotel cards, you'll see that in a minute. My glue, my dead blow hammer, and I only need 2 clamps for this operation, okay? The important thing is always make sure you have all your clamps ready if you have a bunch of stuff to glue on. The other thing too is I have a damp rag. I don't get a sopping rag, just damp to wipe things off. Always remember this. The glue line is on the Dominoes, okay? And it's on this face here, okay? Someone may ask in the comments that why don't you put glue on here? You don't have to because it's pre-finished. Glue doesn't stick to pre-finished.
Good point.
Okay, so I've done hundreds of boxes like this over the years and no failures, and I'll show you a tip when I do multiple boxes how to lay out the glue. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to take this. This is why I have the hotel CAD. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna put glue here, okay, on all the faces that I need. Okay, just like that. See how I'm coating it? Just like that. Make sure you coat and give it a healthy coating, because as I pound these through, it'll wick to the adjacent surface.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it like this now, remember? Just like this, look. Get it in there. Now, remember how there was little recesses in there, right? What I'm gonna do is, as I'm doing that, it's going into the mortise, but also wicking to the adjacent surface inside the sides. And I'm just gonna pound them flush. And that's plenty of glue line. I'm gonna wipe that really quick.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and you see that contrasting wood, how that pops it?
Heck yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get it, look, you gotta remember, it's groove to groove. I still have ample glue on there. And I'm just gonna take that, register like this. Come on, take your time. Go like this and slightly pound it in. I'll let you do the other side, Big D.
Okay.
And there you go.
Beauty.
Okay, and just remember, the reason I'm using the Type On 3 is for longer open times.
Gotcha.
So what we're gonna do is coat these,
Okay.
and I'll get you going on that. I'm gonna look inside real quick, and I'm going to take this, and that's the nice thing about pre-finished. It just wipes up really clean. And this all come together with a couple of Bessies. Okay, so as he's coating all of those, remember that's my inside, that's gonna be on the bottom. I'm gonna take it like this and just slide her in and get ready. And that'll float in there. So that may look a little short, but it's actually perfect. Okay, and he's coating those up. Good, wipe that up. So the next thing we gotta do is get some clamps on, and we're gonna get this while you have them ready. We're gonna get it in there and clamp across, and you'll see it all come together. Look at that, perfect, perfect.
Beautiful.
And then I'm just gonna take it like this, stick it in, okay, and clamp it across. Because it's flush, and that'll actually make it a little more flush, we'll bring it right on in. So there you go, and there's your drawer box.
That's awesome.
Now we just gotta wait for the glue to dry. Wow, for a first drawer box, Big D, you did a really good job. And let's look at the Dominoes here as it's all dried. What's nice is I like the spacing, especially with the side mount, the low profiles. It'll actually look really nice when you pull out the drawer.
Awesome.
Always remember with a drawer box, of course, you're gonna put a drawer face on that. But boy, that came out wicked nice. Hey, what do we always say?
Be positive.
Stay sharp, wicked sharp.